What is up, YouTube? Welcome to episode 2 of the Alternative Show on YouTube. I'm Max.
And I'm Dave, and we have got a crazy show lined up for you. I am bringing to the table this week, I've got an artist that actually contacted us after he saw last week's video and wants us to play his music, and I had listened to it. It's really, really good. I've also got a song that's a little bit old, so it's not actually as last week, but I really wanted to put it in the show anyway.
Yeah, and my music today is pretty crazy. Last week I gave you some sort of little nice stuff to ease you into our music, but this time it's going to be heavy. And of course, we have our 2 minutes of mainstream music madness later on. So my first song is by a guy called Parrad, or Parrad, I'm not sure. I believe he's French, and I have speculated myself, that perhaps Parrad, or Parrad, is a side project of 20SYL.
Really?
And if you've watched our shows, or heard last week even, you will know who 20SYL is. He's a massive guy in the French hip-hop scene, along with C2C, Hocus Pocus, who are actually all him.
Yeah, he does a lot of these side projects where he'll basically unofficially start making music under a new name. And it does eventually, people do realise that, a lot of his pages seem to be promoting this new artist that sounds really, really similar. But it is nice that he always does this, just to sort of make it more about the music than about himself, which is nice.
Yeah, this is Miracles by Parrad, or Parrad, or Parrad. And of course you get those, instantly you get those traits of French hip-hop and 20SYL, C2C and so on, the glitchy jumps and, well, those sort of like trippy drums, along with the vocal samples coming in already.
I really like that the vocal samples are like a chorus as well, like a choir. I think that's really interesting. Actually, you don't usually hear that much.
Well, I mean, he might have used a chorus plugin or effect on that one.
He may well have done.
There you go. But it's, I mean, already you're starting to feel it build up. You get a synths coming in. See if you want to turn it up for a bit.
I like that.
It's cool.
It's really nice, actually. Yeah. Something that I think is worth mentioning about this show is that we haven't actually often heard what each other is bringing to the table. So when we hear these songs, it will pretty much always be the first time we've heard them. So that's
So as we're playing them, we're usually learning about them at the same time.
Right. Next up, I've got a song by Nerzerk. He sent a message to the Facebook page after we did last week's show, after it went up. And I did reply. He asked us to play some of his music and have a listen to it, maybe consider it for the show. I had a listen, it was really, really good, and I obviously was going to put it in. But I still don't know how to pronounce his name, even though I did ask him how to pronounce it. So
well, the best thing to do probably is to pronounce it really confidently.
Nerzerk. This is Nerzerk. Okay, so he found the show through Polar Youth, who we featured last week, and she played the song that I said was a remix that wasn't, and she told me afterwards that I was completely wrong, and it was really stupid of me to say that. But he found it, she shared it on her page, and he found it through her. So he is actually also a trap producer predominantly, but he's really moving into doing this sort of more chilled, sort of sweepy synth style stuff, which I really, really like. It is kind of chill trap, but I think it's less trap than chill.
I've got to say, instantly, that's sort of this synth, very sustained, long sustained synth.
And actually, this is really, really similar to the synth. This is completely unintentional to the synth that I have in the song coming up. The other song I have.
Really?
Yeah, it's a wonderful link.
Yeah, there's a really cool effect on it. It's like an old record.
Yeah,
isn't it? Ooh.
I love these whole sort of chill step influence, like little like liquidy sounds and samples of little like tingly bits. I think that's really, really nice in the background.
Is this trap?
I don't think it is. He is a trap producer predominantly. That's what I could see from his page anyway. But this is really sort of chilled. This is called Evenings, by the way, and I really like this song. It is really, really chilled. It's so nice. Just to, again, like chill step, it's something that you have in the background that you don't predominantly listen to. But if you do and you pick out everything in it, it is really, really intrinsically done and very good attention to detail now.
No, I've got to say, this doesn't sound like trap at all to me. This sounds a lot more like chill step.
Yeah, yeah.
I think that's really cool for a trap producer to start moving around. Like, we talked a little bit about Psychotics last week and the fact that he had moved a tiny bit into chillwave at one point. But this is something that I love seeing, is the sort of evolution of artists and the way they move outside their genres. I mean, 20SYL does it by changing his name and then experimenting a little bit, but people like this, I think that's very cool. The way they just sort of move out.
And when I originally heard stuff, like, no offense to the guy, but I did listen to some of the trap stuff he does, and I was sort of like, I'm not a big fan of trap anyway. But when I heard this, I just instantly really loved it.
No, it's beautiful.
Song number 3!
Song number 3! We are moving on to 7 Lines. Now, recently, his stuff has been a little bit controversial in my eyes. I mean, he used to make these huge sort of dance tunes, and they were absolutely amazing. Like, I mean, there's one called, I think I showed you, Nepenthe or something?
Yes.
Nepenthe, where at the drop, it's got a drum fill, it's got and then this massive synth comes in, and on the waveform you see, for the whole thing it's like, and then when the drop is, it's like, boom, just a massive overcompressed file. But it's because of this massive synth that comes in and goes, and
that's not this song, that's just another song. That's just a build-up.
You can just tell how passionate I am about 7 Lines. And so his recent stuff hasn't been so good, which is a bit of a shame. But if you skip to 40 seconds, I don't think we do need to go to 40 seconds. I think you might, I don't know, turn up, let's listen a bit. So you get that sort of build up. There's his classic piano mixed with string style synth.
When that bit came in, they looked like, what? The collective heads in the room were all just sort of... Anyway, continue.
So you can feel it building up now. Of course, along with every sort of stereotypical dance track, you have that envelope going, rising up towards the drop. And it's always just a big build-up. But I can't actually remember what genre this song is. I listened to it earlier, but it's building up now and you're about to hear it. And it gets pretty cool.
So at the drop, you'll be able to tell people what song it is, but we'll listen to it now.
So, I mean, you can hear right now, it's this sort of, the new 7 Lions sound. It's not like his older stuff, but in a second, it'll get back to his more, like, Days to Come EP style. The sort of huge sort of, and it's massive, like, going on around it. It comes in a second. There you go.
Love that sound design there. Like, wow.
It's so sick. It's really heavy side chains. You get that massive sound.
That's cool. I like that.
And I mean, in a way, 7 Lines hit his sort of top sound in Days to Come, and after that, it's has sounded like sort of recreation, or he's just. It sounds like he's been reusing his sounds, which in a way I guess is good. Because, you know, you're punching out good music and you're giving your fans stuff, but...
It's nice to experiment a bit.
Exactly, it's missing that creativity, and that's what I like about his modern stuff. Even though some of it hasn't been particularly enjoyable, it's been very sort of innovative, and he's been moving outside of his normal genres.
Last song. This is actually a really old song. It's not... Well, not really old. It came out in, like... couple of months ago, but it's not by any means the song that came out this week. It's Plush by Electric Mantis, and I can't even remember how I found this. I just stumbled across it when I was on SoundCloud, and it, as I was saying, it has really similar synths to the other song I had today by Nerzerk. Yeah, Nerzerk. So yeah, I really like this song. It is again this really sort of chill thing. It sounds really similar to the other one I had, Nerzerk. Anyway, and I really like this. I really like the synth in it. If you've ever played the game Fez, just incidentally, it sounds really a lot like that. You know.
Lots of eye contact going on between Cameron and Dave now. I haven't played Fez. I've watched Dave play it, but yeah. Oh, that's cool. That's slow.
Yeah, I really like the slow. It keeps that slow, chill feel, even though it's actually quite a big sort of drum beat and stuff in it. I think it's really nice.
So you say you don't like trap?
I know.
That's another trap song. This always happens.
I see like the first 2 shows we've done of this have all been trap. Just randomly on my stream a lot. Recently I've been having a lot of surge of trap.
It is a very popular genre, I think, because it's one of the easiest electronic genres to produce, but along with that comes a huge diversity inside the genre. And one of the songs that I was going to put in was by Timid Soul, who do these really trippy, like minimalist trap songs. And I don't know. Trap is a cool genre.
I'm a bit undecided on trap, but there are some really, really nice bits of it. I think that's where I stand on trap generally. Don't like the genre that much generally, but there are some really nice songs in trap that I like for being the songs and not for being trap.
Okay,
if that makes sense.
No, that's fair.
That's it. I think it's a really nice chilled song, but it's really, again, really attention to detail is really there. But
this is really nice trap.
It is, yeah. But probably my favourite bit about this whole thing is just the synths. I mean, just at the start you can hear them, these little like. That little bit, it's just really nice.
It's quite 8-bit, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. That, but like I think it must have it has multiple layers. So it does get these sort of like choral bits, which are really nice. Time for
2 minutes of mainstream music madness. And in this 2 minutes of mainstream music madness, we are talking about Take That.
Yeah,
take that away. And if you have been listening to the UK Top 40 charts recently, you will know that Take That topped it recently with their song these days. And this is something that I'm quite happy with because I grew up listening to a lot of Take That.
I think, yeah, that's really nice.
Yeah, exactly. And to see the way they've moved from their like classic pop style to, I don't know how you describe it, this sort of funky, excited pop style. I think it's really cool.
Yeah, I have to admit, I do actually quite like their new song.
It's so good, isn't
but
it?
It's really surprising because obviously if you see the name Take That, you're not going to be like, But upon listening to it, it is a really good song. It's just surprising it came from Take That.
Yeah, no, exactly. I agree. And the video especially is something you really wouldn't expect to come from like a middle-aged pop band.
I haven't seen the video.
It's pretty cool. I mean, you know, some indie bands now do these really colourful, amazing single-shot videos. Yeah. It's similar to that, and it looks like something more from OK Go or like Vampire Weekend. Vampire Weekend. That's a good comparison.
Yeah.
There you go.
Nice.
That was 2 minutes of mainstream music madness. I just like to say hi to Tom Brightwell. I do remember you.
Okay, so that's all we have time for. We tried to keep it shorter this week. If you did like this sort of more short version, then that's great. If you want it to be even shorter, let us know. We love the feedback because...
Drop it in the comments below.
Yeah, because obviously this is still... It's an organic thing. It's growing. It's getting there. So obviously it is still growing. We're still growing the show.
We're flourishing.
Yes, and so we do need suggestions on how we can make it better. Suggestions from last week were make it shorter, stop looking at Tom, look at the camera, and stop touching my face. So we tried.
I think we've done all right today.
We did all right, I think. Hopefully, it could be real. I think we've done all right. The whole show, I was just like, you're like,
you're right, Tom.
Anyway. Thank you guys for watching, and we will see you next week.
Where we will have another 2 minutes of mainstream musical madness and all sorts of crazy songs coming in.
Including one that we wanted to put in this week, but we didn't have time for, by Joe Ford, and that's really worth looking out for.
And we are expecting a new release from Timid Soul, the nutty trap producer we talked about earlier.
Yep, so for some reason more trap on the show, but that doesn't matter. Look forward to that next week. Until then, stay alternative. It's really weird to listen to somebody your age do something this good when you're sitting there like trying to recreate Emily Sanders or like a computer and you're like, this sounds nothing like it. It's just nice to sort of float away. Actually, it is. Yeah.